What's up, everyone? Aaron Nagler here for PackersNews.com, live on Facebook after the Packers pull out another thrilling victory here in Dallas at AT&T Stadium. Jerry Jones and company were looking on as Aaron Rodgers once again rips out their beating heart and shows it to them. Obviously, a lot to get to here. I'll start with the injuries. The Packers, I got a lot of questions immediately after the game about Jordy Nelson, who did not participate in the final drive. It did sure look like he hurt himself on that two-point conversion try. The Packers did not list him on their injury report. They didn't announce an injury. However, Mike McCarthy did say he was being evaluated. He would not say for what, but that is something we'll obviously have to keep a lookout for starting Monday morning. In the meantime, the Packers with another big victory in Dallas to go to 4-1. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, clearly the story of the game with the final drive. Aaron Jones obviously stepped up big time, big production from him. Rodgers saying he had complete trust with the rookie in the backfield after the game. And then the defense, problematic after Kevin King left due to a concussion. Although, interestingly enough, Kevin King was tweeting on the final drive. So we'll see what's up with him starting tomorrow. Let's see, what's up, everybody? Aaron Jones is a beast. Yes, I would agree with that assessment. It's clear that Aaron Jones is our new starting running back. Well, Michael, it's going to be awfully hard to get him off the field after what we saw here this afternoon. That defense is taking years off my life. Yeah, it was problematic today, especially once they lost Kevin King early. They just had no answer for any of the pass catchers from the Cowboys. Montgomery to receiver again, make Aaron Jones our back. I don't think it's quite that simple. I think Montgomery will still figure into the equation, but it's going to be awfully hard to keep Aaron Jones off the field. What will this team be like if they ever get healthy? Dangerous. I think that's the one word for it. This team has shown an ability, a resilience, even through all the injuries, to find a way to win week in and week out. Obviously, they laid an egg down there in Atlanta, but other than that, it's been a pretty impressive start so far for the Packers. What happened to Jordy? Deb, we don't know. McCarthy would only say that he was being evaluated, but he would not say for what. Needed to run the ball more. I thought they ran the ball quite a little bit, including a brilliant draw play there on the final drive. Thoughts on Demarius Randall today, minus the INT. That was more, I don't think that was on the Dallas QB. That was a great play by Clay Matthews to lodge the ball free from Williams. But, you still got to make that play, and Randall made it, ran back for a touchdown. Ups and downs. He's still a liability in coverage, which is unfortunate when you're talking about a defensive back, but he battled throughout the game. There's no doubt there. Skip Bayless is livid right now. Let's see. Bossy moved to go to Adams for the game-winning touchdown. I asked Aaron about that after the game, and Rodgers point blank said Devontae came back to the huddle and said, "Call it again," which I thought was pretty boss on Devontae's part. Seems like Dallas was wide open, middle of the field most of the game. Yeah, they were definitely struggling there along the inside. I don't think they're doing much better on the outside either. Daniel's not affected because of not 100%. Well, it's that, possibly, but I also think he was going against some very good players here this afternoon. What did I tell you, Aaron, about that running game on point and we win, make it easy on Rodgers? I don't think anything was easy for Rodgers today, but definitely was productive on the ground. Start Jones over Montgomery for the rest of the season. I love that you guys don't make any snap judgments off of one game or anything. That's good. Why did McCarthy go for 2 and up by 4? His answer, and I quote, "Just look at the numbers. It was a coach's decision," unquote. And that is exactly what he said. I don't know what that means. Running game gets going, passing game opens up. Yeah, I agree, especially on that touchdown to Jordy Nelson. You saw how the linebackers bit up big time, and Rodgers said that was an adjustment they hadn't run since the Miami game in 2014, where Nelson was open for a touchdown in that game as well. D's still okay at best, but as long as we got number 12, we have a chance. I would agree with that assessment. Do you think B.J. Raji earned the starting QB job? Love it. In the end, that incomplete pass thrown by Prescott gave Rodgers the time to go down the field. Yeah, I found it interesting that they threw it there. I also thought that Prescott was going to go down at the 1-yard line when he ran in for the touchdown. Obviously, you're down by 4, you got to get the touchdown, but in the moment, I thought he was going to take the dive there. What's up with Jordy? Roy, it's okay. I know a lot of people are going to ask. McCarthy said he's being evaluated. He would not go any further. A lot of four-man rushes after from the Cowboys. So that's, that has been Marinelli's MO. That, he very rarely sends pressure. One hell of a game. I agree. That was an all-timer, no doubt. Jones can be... What do we do with Monty? I don't think they do anything with Monty. I think Monty will continue to be a switchblade of a player. He'll play running back, and he'll play wide receiver. Let's see. If we get healthy, we are looking good. Yeah, Jeff, I would contend that they're not looking too bad when they're not healthy either. McCarthy just wanted to make the game exciting. That was pretty good. Do we have any players left? Yeah, a bunch of them that helped win this game. Should we give Randall a timeout every week? Nice pick six rebound. Yeah, he was Johnny on the spot. Right place, right time, and made the play. No doubt about that. More Bennett Kendricks, get them involved more. Yeah, I think you saw a little bit. That play where Rodgers is rolling to his right and throws on the move for 33 yards to Bennett. Hey, that's an amazing throw, and that's just an outstanding catch from Martellus Bennett. He also had a huge play on the final drive to pick up a first down and get out of bounds to stop the clock. Or wait, he didn't get out of bounds, but to pick up the first down. Rodgers mentioned it in his post-game press conference. They're not throwing to them a lot, but when they do, they make it count, including Kendricks' big reception there in the first half. How did Jones look on third down protection? He looked good. Rodgers mentioned it. He had no qualms about him being back there. Said he made every adjustment and picked up what pressure he was supposed to throughout the game. So obviously you can't make a real determination until you go back and watch the tape. But for the most part, he looked the part, no doubt about it. Talk about the penalty on Dallas's first drive. Oh, Jeremy, that was hellacious. That's a combination of hellacious and horrid. Yeah, I don't know. I get you're trying to protect players, etc. But Martinez, if anything, is trying to avoid contact there. His hand grazes Bryant's helmet, but he has no idea that Bryant is going to catch or not catch the football. He's trying to make a play on a football play on the player, and he gets penalized for it. I thought that was an atrocious call. What do you think about adding Vince Beagle in Week 7? Well, I think it's coming, and it'll be interesting to see what he adds to the mix. Nick Perry obviously was out for a little bit today, and Brooks, I thought, stepped in and played a really good game. Player who played great but didn't get recognition, Lane Taylor. I know a lot of people were griping about him on Twitter in the first half, but I'm telling you, for a guard playing on the road in this stadium, not being able to hear the snap count, going against two really good premier edge rushers, I thought Lane Taylor played a hell of a game, and he was going to be talked about a whole heck of a lot. Hey Nags, how's the food there? Drinking enough beer? No, not while I'm working. Although I will say, this is the only stadium in the NFL that has Peroni on tap after the game, in the press box. Talk about living your best life. A lot of low snaps from Lindsley today. I forgot to ask Rodgers about that, but we will ask him about it during the week, because I noticed the same thing as well. Toughest offense in the regular season? You talking about the Packers or their opponents? Montravius Adams going to play anytime soon? Yeah, Derek, good question. I don't know. That's a question for McCarthy this week. I didn't really think it was much to ask about after the game. There's a lot more to get to, but it's definitely something that's going to be asked of McCarthy and or Capers and or the staff in general as the week goes on, because this is now 2 weeks where he's been a healthy scratch. Do you think the defense gave up the TD at the end of the game to get the ball back? Maybe. You go back and you watch some of the effort on that final play. Maybe. I don't know. Seems like the refs didn't want us to win. I know it's easy to think that because we're here in Dallas, Jerry Jones, etc. Did the checks clear, what have you. But really, I think it's more gross incompetence than it is something bent. Taylor played better than sitting at tackle. Yes, Jacob, big time. Was Lindsley snapping quick to help with McCray? It's possible. There were a couple adjustments there that got missed, especially in the first half. There was a slide protection that Evans missed that caused that second sack. Little things like that. It's a possibility. Maybe he has something on his mind, protection-wise or adjustment-wise, that's causing it. But it's definitely something they'll look at and talk about this week. Another rookie demands playing time, turning into a nice rookie class. I agree. Between Kevin King, Josh Jones, and now Aaron Jones, this rookie class is starting to look pretty darn good. Perry's play before the end of the half was huge. Yeah, Kevin, it's interesting. He got the credit for the sack, I went back and looked. I don't ever see him touching the quarterback, but maybe there was an angle that I missed. But it looked like Dak just kind of dropped the ball. But I agree, he was around the quarterback, and maybe that influenced it. It's possible. But I agree that stop was huge, in so much that it enabled them to double up. And that's why McCarthy likes to defer at the beginning of games. I know people hate it, especially because most of the time the Packers defense gives up a touchdown to open the game. But McCarthy wants that chance to score at the end of the first half, and then the ability to come out in the second half and score again, which is what they did tonight. Let's see. Rodgers looks like he is in the best physical shape of his career. Corey, I tell you what, that play where he gets out of the potential sack and the game-winning drive when they have no timeouts, that is one of the more athletic plays I've seen him make in his career. It looked like he was a dead duck right there, and that they were going to be really up against it time-wise. But as he said in his post-game press conference, he's been concentrating on keeping his knees up or in traffic, and I think that helped him escape there. Has always been garbage in coverage. I don't agree with that assessment, Corey, but I do agree that he's had a very slow start to this season, including that initial third down. They should have been off the field. They should have started this game with a 3-and-out. Instead, it looked like a coverage bust from although you got to go back and look at the coach's tape. That may have been, an adjustment that the opposite side safety was supposed to make. I'm not quite sure. Got to look to see if it was cover 3, cover 2, what have you. But it sure looked like, blew it there. Who's talking bad about Bennett now? That is a great question. Aaron is clutch on the last drive. Yeah, it's funny how that narrative is starting to change, isn't it? I tell you what, all day yesterday and all day today, all I've heard here in Dallas is how scared they are of Aaron Rodgers. And you saw another example of why here today. What about Pepper, the long snapper? Thoughts? Yeah, Katie, I went back and looked at the two snaps. I thought the first snap was fine on the field goal, or the extra point kick attempt that hit the upright. The second one was definitely low. It did look like the holder had a bad kind of go at it there, but that's something they'll obviously be looking at throughout the week. Martinez looks like a beast. I tell you what, there's a guy who is a poster child for the step you want a player to make from year 1 to year 2. When they always talk about making the leap from year 1 to year 2, that looks like exactly what Martinez is doing. Where are my seats in Jerry's world? They're in the press box, which is that way and down. Were you happy with the defensive pressure today? Well, I'm not happy or sad, but I thought the Cowboys did a really good job of blocking them up when they only rushed 4. They had to send guys. The Capers had to kind of play dial a coverage and dial a blitz. But it was intermittent. But it didn't look like Prescott was under much duress throughout the day. Adams, a free agent at the end of the season, restricted? No, he's a free agent. And he's getting more and more expensive each passing week. Jordy looks to have broken ribs the last few weeks. I don't think it's broken ribs, but there's definitely something up. Can't wait to hear Skip Bayless tomorrow. You guys talk about Skip Bayless so much, no wonder he's employed. Why weren't we running the Nitro versus the Cowboys when they were in run sets? Or why were we? Well, I think because they were really worried about the passing options for the Cowboys, and for good reason. Huge way for Randall to make up for himself from last week. It's a huge play, no doubt about it. Tell Ted to re-sign Randall and Adams. I'll do that. Why can't they ever seem to have a pass rush anywhere? I don't disagree that they have any pass rush, but I think it's intermittent, and you got to give credit to Dallas. I mean, those guys get paid too, and those guys up front for Dallas, they played very well. Dallas has looked terrible all year, so should we be scared? No, Russ. It's a week-to-week league, and it's still a very talented Dallas team. By the way, Rodgers played that last drive with the sun in his eyes. Yeah, it's weird how they have the thing open and the sun glaring right at the field. I mean, I'm sure it looks good on television, but man, that's got to be annoying if you're playing the game. Beasley really quieted down in the second half. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to get in the locker room to ask anybody about any of the adjustments, but yeah, he definitely gave him issues throughout the day. He had a big catch there on their final drive. What happened to the Nitro defense? They didn't play as much Nitro today, but they did. I know they did go to their quad defense a lot there in the second half, especially on the touchdown, Demarius Randall touchdown. Sorry, man. Somebody's cleaning up here. I'm in their way, stopping a man from doing his job. So I'm just going to move this so he can clean off that ledge. But yeah, they went to the quad defense there in the second half. That was the defense they were in when Randall got his pick 6. That's a play that it's a formation and a personnel grouping that shows that has Matthews drop into coverage. That's why he was able to hit, make the hit that caused the ball to go up in the air. Do you think that up and coming bye will help for the injuries? Lloyd, it's got to. Let's all celebrate with a Wisco Disco. I approve this message, Bob. Did we win? Yes, Christopher, you did win. We need some better pass rushers. Linwood, I think they've got some pretty good pass rushers. They just went up. You know, the other team gets paid as well. They have some really good pass protectors here in Dallas. I'm glad we didn't have to play Sean Lee today. Yeah, that was a big blow for the Cowboys defense, no doubt about it. Seemed like Ryan was on the field a lot and Jones not so much. Yeah, I think they were going to a lot of their base and, like I said, the quad, which puts another linebacker on the field. I don't know, some of these comments, you guys are hilarious. Let's see, the helmets seem to have sunglasses to prevent the glare. Yeah, you would think so, right? It doesn't even look good on TV. Yeah, it's baffling to me. Do teams have a contract for family to find out about players' injuries? No. A lot of times what will happen is a player will text his agent, and the agent will give that information to the family. Sometimes the player will text the family member directly, but no, there's nothing from the team that goes out. Jordy Nelson, Matt, he was being evaluated for Mike McCarthy, but he would not say what for. I think these rookie running backs are the real deal. Yeah, Caleb, I've been saying it since the summer. The Packers found 3 backs. All of them belong in the NFL. Now the question is how much do they play, and what do they do with their opportunities? And you saw it today. Aaron Jones absolutely made the most of his. Janice, big special teams play. Yeah, Jared, I think there were 2 big special teams play on the play you're mentioning. One is obviously the Janice tackle for a -1 return, but on top of that is the Vogel punt, which completely flipped the field. That was an outstanding punt from Vogel. What do you think about Bulaga? I hate this. I know you hate hearing it, but I gotta go watch the tape. I didn't really get to see him a whole lot. I was more focused on Taylor throughout the game since he was playing out of position, but it seemed like he held up well. Maybe got beat once or twice, but he went the distance, which is more than he did against Cincinnati. So hopefully he's turning a corner there. Vogel had another great one today. Yeah, Jack, he absolutely did. All right, everyone. I'm gonna skedaddle and get to work, but thanks so much. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. Make sure you're checking out PackersNews.com for all the latest. We'll have everything from this big, thrilling victory for the Packers here in Dallas once again to go to 4-1. Like I said, check it all out. We'll have everything at PackersNews.com.